Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see from the title down below, I will be talking about my experiences in applying to unis in Canada and unis here in Australia. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe down below if you haven't already. Click that notification bell so you get notified every time I post a video, and of course, give this video a thumbs up. Well, first, I'm going to be talking about my experience in applying to Canada because I only applied to one uni there, and that's the University of Toronto. So basically, when I applied to the University of Toronto, I only needed to submit my Year 11 and Term 1 or Term 2 Year 12 grades. And then I had to just give them a list of all the extracurricular activities that I did throughout my high school life. And that was actually pretty much it. I just submitted those informations and made my application, and a few months later they got back to me with an offer letter. But some tips with that: University of Toronto is one of the top unis like in the world, so you have to really stretch or your academics. Like, your academics must be really good. At least try to have an average GPA of maybe 3.80 to 4, but if you don't, then at least try the 3.80 and then milk your extracurriculars. So for me, my extracurriculars were volleyball, dance, volunteer work in my high school. So I did a bunch of talks, like the junior high talk, the middle school talk, and all that. And then I would volunteer to sell like the house shirts, sell the paroles, and all that. You can use those extracurriculars. I listed about 20 extracurriculars for my application, and I mean, I know that some people may not have that much extracurriculars, so try to really push your grades. Try to really have high grades if you don't have that much extracurricular, and vice versa. If your grades aren't that great, then try to push for the extracurricular. So yeah, again, Year 11 grades, Term 1 and or Term 2 Year 12 grades, and extracurriculars for applying to the University of Toronto. And the next thing I'm going to talk about is applying to unis here in Australia, which is a bit more elaborate, I guess, because there are a lot of pathways to get into unis here in Australia if you're an international student. So here in Australia, I applied to the University of New South Wales, University of Sydney, Macquarie University, and University of Technology, Sydney. So I will be talking about all those one by one. So applying for the University of New South Wales, there's actually a lot of pathways you can take. So there's actually applying to first year of uni, but for that you would need your Year 11 grades, Year 12 Term 1 and or Term 2 grades, and you need SATs and IELTS. So this is a bit more difficult because for the SATs, they do require a high score because they are one of the top unis here in Australia. So for, let's say, if you want to get into a field in the sciences or engineering or any of that, or medicine, law, you have to get a GPA of at least 1,330 out of 1,600 to be able to apply, just apply, not even get in, but to be able to apply for those type of courses. And then, not really sure how IELTS is scored because I didn't take it, but I know that you also need a good score for the IELTS to get into first year in UNSW. But again, if there's another pathway, if you don't want to take the SATs or take the IELTS and you just want to submit your Year 11 and Year 12 grades, another pathway is a foundation program. So the foundation program is specifically for international students, so it's easier for them to get in without having to take an extra test or without having the HSC or ATAR and all that. So for the foundation program, all you need to do is submit your Year 11 and Year 12 grades as well, and you just have to have good grades to get accepted into that. So basically, a foundation program is like a pathway program to your university course. So let's say you want to take up psychology, you have to take the foundation program in life sciences, and then the subjects you're taking in that life sciences program is catered to what you need to know to get into psychology. So let's say you want to get into something in media or arts and all that, you can go into arts and design or arts and social sciences. And again, all your subjects will be catered so you're better prepared when you enter uni. And yeah, it's just an easier way to get into uni because you just need your year 11 and year 12 grades, and you don't necessarily need the IELTS or SATs. But again, UNSW is still a pretty top ranking uni, so you have to have good year 11 and year 12 grades. And unlike in Canada, you can also push your extracurriculars. In UNSW, they only actually just ask you for your year 11 and year 12 grades, so they must be pretty good. You have to be at least in the 3.80 to 4 GPA rankings, especially. But a nice thing about that is they also give scholarships for that. So if your GPA is around in the 4, an average of 4 at least, then it'll be easier for you to get the higher scholarship, because they offer scholarships for, I think, ranging from 3,000 Australian dollars to 10,000 Australian dollars. So yeah, if your grades are higher, the bigger the scholarship. Yeah. Next is the University of Sydney, and same thing as UNSW, you can also apply to their first year, but also you need the SATs and IELTS. But then they also have a foundation program, and it's honestly the same thing as UNSW. They require the same things. The only difference with University of Sydney and their foundation program is you actually won't be in the University of Sydney campus. You'd be in Trinity College, which is their sister school. So yeah, taking the foundation program, you'll have to study 1 year in Trinity College and then transfer to the University of Sydney once you're in first year. But again, they require the same things as UNSW. Moving on to Macquarie University. Macquarie University also has the foundation program, but I believe that it's easier to get into the first year, like actual first year in Macquarie University, since it's still a good ranking uni, but it's not as high as UNSW or USyd. So it's quite easy to get into the first year program. But again, they still require SATs. They just require a lower SAT grade. So let's say you want to get into psychology, instead of having to reach 1,330, I think their entrance to that is 1,100 something. So it's easier. But again, if you don't want to take the SATs, then Macquarie University also has a foundation program, and again, it just requires your year 11 and year 12 grades. And lastly, I'm going to be talking about the University of Technology, Sydney. So yes, you can again apply for their first year program, well, actual first year college thing, and same thing, SATs, IELTS, year 11, year 12 grades. But the only difference with this is they have a foundation and a diploma program. So the foundation program is for year 11, so even if you haven't reached year 12 yet, you can apply to their foundation program, and basically your foundation program will be like your year 12. It's just that, you know, you won't have an actual high school graduation. And then, so yeah, you can apply to their foundation program, which is basically like the same thing as all the other foundation programs. But they also have the thing called a diploma program, and it's basically an easier way for international students to get into university. And a diploma program is actually already first year uni, like it will be considered first year college instead of you having to take 1 extra year and then going to first year college. The diploma program is actually the classes you're meant to be taking if you're in first year. The only difference is that you don't need to submit your SATs, you don't need to submit IELTS, and it's easier for international students, and it's catered to international students. So for the diploma program, again, you just have to submit your year 11 and year 12 grades, and then if it's good, then you're going to be admitted into the diploma program. And again, the diploma program is already first year. So once you're done with the diploma program, when you go into actual uni, you'd already be second year. You'd be with other people who are in second year. You won't have to go from one program to first year. So yeah, I think that was a really good option as well. And UNSW also has a diploma program, but the only problem with that is I think they only have 2 programs for diploma, and that's science and engineering, while UTS has communications, science, business. They have like quite a few. I'm gonna link their websites down below just in case you want to check it out. And yeah, those were my experiences with applying to unis in Canada and unis here in Australia. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have more questions, leave a comment down below, or don't hesitate to DM me on Instagram at Monica_Andrea13. I'd be happy to answer all your questions if you're still confused about anything, but I hope this video helps you a little bit. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and click that notification bell so you get notified every time I post a video. And of course, give this video a thumbs up. Bye!